Hello, hello. Welcome to Mondays with Michelle. How are you today, Heather?
So excited to be here. Love Mondays. Looking forward to all the fun questions that have been coming in.
Yeah, I'm excited to get started on them too. We have Aiden helping us today. He is behind the scenes, but hopefully that will make it go more smoothly for both of us since technology is not our gift, as we've said.
No, and we're still working out some glitches and stuff, but I think this new setup's going to be really great. We're excited about it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm ready. Let's get started.
All right. First question came from an online submission. It's how does my husband father our children from the other side? It is so tiring being on all the time. I have been a single mom in the past, but it seems exhausting to live life. How is he helping me when I feel like life is too much?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So, our loved ones on the other side are still available to help us. They do it in different ways. Some of the ways are them bringing in certain opportunities into our life. So, maybe some of your children are getting teachers that are better fits for them in school because he's got some behind the scenes work that he's doing to help you. What I also know is that they are talking to us not just on a soul level, but sometimes there are dream visits and there are other things that they are bringing in. So, although very often we are feeling like we are here facing this life in this world alone, they're still doing behind the scenes work on the other side for us. There really is a team orchestrating this. The hard part for you is that you do have the boots on the ground part of it right now, but I promise you, his love has not ended and his wanting to parent them has not changed.
Well, and Michelle and I both have experience of being a single parent and how challenging that can be. So really,
Yeah.
it can be a tough call, and knowing that you have that support, but it can feel very lonely at times.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes it does feel like you're looking around saying, where's my support? And, even for me, so I would like to just validate that. There were times, even though I know I have angels and life guides and I know them by name and I'm connected to them, there were literally times in that when I felt unsupported. But what I will say is there's almost like this invisible energy of them lifting us up when we are in those hard moments. And although humanly we might not be feeling it and seeing it, they're truly carrying us and adding opportunities for us, the kids, everyone involved.
Thank you. All right, next question. Am I moving in an appropriate or positive direction, upgrading my van and preparing for a nomad life? Is it a good use of my limited resources?
Here's the thing that I'm going to answer that question with. It's really interesting because this is what Sphere is going to say to you today. What's your energy behind it? Okay. What's your energy behind it? So this is important. We've got to think about this right now in this world. So many people are operating from an energy of fear or not focusing on an energy of love, right? So it's not that it's right or wrong what you're choosing to do, because what I feel like is it could be very productive either way. Are you going on this lifestyle to find yourself? Are you going on this lifestyle to run away? Run away meaning like not deal with challenges, not face responsibilities. So your guides are saying to you today, it can be very productive either way, but it's about the energy that you're going to face it with. So are you running or are you finding? Two different things right there.
Great. I find too sometimes, like when I'm faced with a big decision, just being able to sit quietly and feel like what that feels like in my body. Like if it feels good, like in spirit will speak to you in those ways. But sometimes we have to kind of slow down a little bit, don't you think, Michelle?
Oh, 100%. And also, I'm not against running away or taking a weekend off or a mental vacation or like, I get it. We're playing human and we need that support from spirit world. We need to quiet ourselves down. But if we're talking about doing this long term, which is what it feels like you're thinking, it's not that the answer is yes or no. The answer is what is the energy you are choosing this with?
I love that. All right, we're going to take a question from our chat. We have some questions coming in.
All
It's
right.
one is how do I become certified as a medium? Who would you
Okay.
recommend for certifications? Which is kind of a different question we've had before, but I think a lot of people have that question.
I love that. So here's the thing. There are different places that can certify you. So there, I would say number one, you can probably Google it. I went through Find a Certified Medium. That is the website. So for those of you who are wanting to be certified, I would apply there. The other place that I believe certifies medium is called Wind Bridge Institute in Tucson. And I believe it is important to be certified. I want to say this. I know phenomenal mediums who are not certified. But what I love about the certification process is that it does give you credentials. So you have blind readings, you have to show up and you have to be able to do what you can do in that process. And I feel like because we are in an industry that in a way is not regulated well here in America, it's important to actually really have that to follow who you are. So I would say look into both of those. I was certified by Mark Ireland, sorry, on Find a Certified Medium.
Great. And we have another question in the chat that's along those lines. And they had a question about their mediumship as well. It said, I'm at a crossroads, I think. Will it be mediumship studies or both? How can I release the trauma of not being able to learn things, being stupid in quotes?
Okay. So the first word I got for you was both. So it's going to be both. But you really need to think about the way that you just talked, because the words you just used. Okay. I love you, whoever you are. I love you. I can feel your energy. But here's the thing. When we are saying things like that about ourselves, when we're saying, I'm stupid, I'm not learning, I'm not doing this, we are literally creating energetic blocks, right? So the way you talk to yourself is more important than the way you talk to anyone else in the world. And you talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else in the world. So I want to say both, but it's not about being stupid or smart. It's about being open. And by the way, people make bad choices. That doesn't mean that they're dumb. Your guides are very clear. You're not a dumb person. Open up your energy more, right? Opening up to the universe. You know how to do this, but I feel like it's going to be both for now. And you're not supposed to give up yet. I was in training for years before I started working professionally as a medium. And I think that it's really important for people to get proper training so that they understand the information that you're coming through with. One thing that is really important to me is that when you're working as a medium or a psychic or any type of light work or healer, Reiki master, whatever you are, realize that you are touching people's lives. So it is so important that you are coming through with accurate, clear information to empower them, to help them make the best steps in their life, and so that they can navigate easier. So if it takes more time training, do it. It's more important that you're accurate and that you are bringing positive energy into the world and into this person's life with accurate information than it is that we're working as a medium or working as anything.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting too, because we are so quick to compare ourselves to others. And so we might say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, because I'm not someone else, but we all have our unique gifts. And so recognizing that, and it's not a comparison at all, because we are so unique and different. If I were to compare myself to Michelle, I might, say some not so nice things to myself, but I have my own unique gifts and my own unique sense of like the way I learn or the way I communicate or the way we all do things differently. And so I always be careful to not compare myself to someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we are here to be completely unique, right? None of us were created to be the same. Even identical twins are not the same, right? There's a different vibration with each of their souls, and there are different gifts that they're going to bring into the world. They might be more similar than most people, but they weren't actually created to be identical across the board. So keep doing you, don't give up, but realize that it could be a journey, and that's part of your soul's plan and your soul's journey, not just part of your human experience. When spirit places a desire, a passion, an inspiration on our heart, it's a soul calling. It's not just a human like, that sounds okay.
Great. We're going to take another question from the chat. Love these live questions. They're great. I ended a relationship recently. Was this the best decision? What are my guides saying about when I should consider dating again? Any suggestions on what to focus on until then?
Yes. So I got 2 thumbs up when you asked if this is the right decision. Yes, this is the right decision. That wasn't a random decision. You know this too. There were, I see red flag, red flag. There were things that just weren't going to line up. It doesn't mean that person's a bad person. It just means they were not a vibrational match for you. So when the question is what, yes, you should start dating again, they're making me feel like it's not going to take you as long as you think. It could be really within a few weeks is the way that your guides are showing it to me. When we're asking about what do we focus on in between relationships, the answer is always going to be one thing: yourself, because you want to be the vibrational match for what you are wanting to attract, whether it is work or money or friends or a romantic partner, on and on and on, right? And so we really have to raise our energy and be the person that we're wanting to attract, connect with, and stay with.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Next question comes from an online submission. I am seeing hummingbirds and angel numbers. Who is behind the messages and what messages should I be in tune with?
I love that. Okay, so number one, I do feel angelic presence for you. So I would connect this with your guardian angel. And I want to tell you, think about what you're thinking about when you see these signs. Because with this, usually when we are on a track where we're like, oh, we're thinking about work or what we want to do next, or we're feeling inspired, the universe is kind of giving us little poofs of yes, that, yes, that. So notice what you're thinking about. I keep getting the word inspired, inspiration. So if you are not in a place where you are feeling inspired right now, just know this is the universe wanting to give you inspiration. They're showing me a lot of pink energy around you right now. It's like a bubblegum pink color, has to do with love. So maybe you are looking for more love in your life. That doesn't necessarily mean a romantic partner. That might be a friend, a job where you feel appreciated, the neighbors having a cookout with you, whatever that is. But so really letting yourself be inspired with love will bring in that vibrational match, whether it's great neighbors, fun people at work, on and on.
Great. Next question we're going to take from our chat. Um, Here we go. My husband is having a lot of digestive issues. Can you please help us figure out what is best for him?
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. Can I get an initial for his first name, please? I think I feel his energy though.
Okay, I'll wait for it to come through in the chat.
I'm going to start with what I'm feeling, but let me
Okay,
know when it comes
I'll let
through.
you know when it comes through.
Okay. Here's what I'll tell you with that. So, the digestive issues, I want to say a couple of things about that because I feel like they are upper and lower. I feel like it's the whole GI system to me feels on fire or inflamed, is what I'm getting. One thing that I want to say is I don't know if he's been tested for leaky gut, but I feel those words coming in. So that might be something that he wants to look into. The other thing is diet, diet, diet. So diet's going to be really important here. I'm sure they've already checked for some food allergies, but if they haven't, they need to. I'm also being told that he is sensitive to certain types of additives or preservatives. So it would be really important for him to eat an organic, clean diet right now.
And the initial that came in was B, Michelle.
That's exactly what I was getting. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great. We're going to do another question from the chat. I ended a relationship with my brother in an action of self-love. Was this a good move for me?
Okay, when it's done out of self-love, the answer is always going to be yes. So let me just tap in with your guides on this. So they're wanting me to well, first of all, they're literally like applauding for you because they're showing me the clapping hands. So I want to say absolutely this was a great decision for you. They're wanting me to remind you that really part of your brother's soul plan and your soul plan with him was for you to learn how to love yourself. So because of this, we can check the box. I do feel like there's going to be an opening later on where you might reconnect, but I want to tell you, hold this boundary strong for quite a while because you are, the way your guides are saying it, you're on sea legs and you're getting your new balance.
Yeah, and it can be hard. I claim myself to be a recovering people pleaser where I was always doing everything for everyone else and never would set boundaries. And it can be painful at times to see those relationships go away or to have friends that you've had forever and to let those relationships go. And out of an act of self-love, it's not working for you anymore. So it's a hard thing to do. And I just want to acknowledge that taking that step for you is a big one.
It really is. You know, the saying, the lesson is always love, right? It really is. But sometimes that is absolutely not about staying in abusive relationships, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, on and on with people. It's about loving yourself first. And I might have said this on here before, but it sounds like it's time to say it again. When I have asked spirit world about, are we really here to serve everyone else? The answer is yes, but you must serve yourself first. So by me serving my soul and being able to work as a medium, the ripple effect is that I get to serve and help other people. So we do have to really guard, honor, love, protect, and serve our own soul first. But the byproduct of that is beautiful.
Great. All right, we're going to take another question from our chat. Is my late wife, Dee Dee, sending me any signs?
Absolutely. So I'm seeing hearts, and I'm seeing a lot of heart-shaped stones. So I have to say heart-shaped stones coming in very strong. Pay attention to those. You might also get leaves, clouds, like all of that. She's doing something inside the structure of the building or of your house. So it's going to feel like a little tap or a scratch or a little pipe knocking or something like that. But she's absolutely trying to say, I'm still here. I'm still here. Using her hand, I feel right shoulder tingles, heat pressuring. So I want to say that she's also literally trying to create the sensation of touch for you.
Great. Thank you, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Another question from our chat. My brother and I have been estranged for over 20 years by his decision. He is blaming me for something I didn't have the power to do. Is there a way to reach out to him?
Okay, let me just fill into that. That is complicated because I want to say a couple things here. First, what I heard from your guides is he's making a conscious choice. So when someone is making a conscious choice, we are limited on what we can do to help them. When someone is making an unconscious choice and they don't realize they have other options and opportunities available, we have more room to speak into their life. So what I am feeling like with your brother right now, the guides are showing me he's still like this solid wall, this solid closed door. So the answer at this point in time is no. But here's the big message for you. They said, get busy living. Okay. This has eaten up so much of your time, your energy, your emotional, your mental capacity. They're just showing me this. I see it as, gosh, it's almost like if you're just driving down the road and leaving this trail behind you, right, of your life force energy. And so what your guides are saying is right now that door is still closed. So I want to validate that for you. But the other thing is that what they're asking is for you to pull your energy back into you. And it is okay to be sad. It is valid. It is okay to be upset. All of those things, valid, 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 valid. And then at some point you've got to say, okay, but I'm going to choose to be present in my life, and I'm going to pull my energy emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically forward for me now.
Yeah, and something that I would add to that, in addition to being able to pull your energy back into you, is if there's something that you have that's left unsaid or that you would like to share with them, but those doors are so closed, it never still hurts to write a letter, send a message or something, and not be attached to being able to express how you feel can be one way of closing that door and being able to move forward, even though he might not receive it and it might not change anything, but to kind of finish off and tie up those loose ends for you. I passed
Yeah.
from experience, and it did not go like I wanted it to go, but I was able to release all that because I was able to say what I needed to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that's even us speaking out loud in the car or the shower when no one else is listening, right? But really honoring your path in this and knowing when people make conscious choices, we're limited as to how much we can help them or him. And that's what's happening here. Thanks for that,
Absolutely.
Heather. That's good advice too.
Thank you. I have a lot of inner family turmoil. What are my guides telling me to do? I've prayed and prayed, but I don't feel like I'm getting answers. And kind of similar to the last question with the
Yeah.
family.
So do you notice what happens? This is what happens in my gallery online readings also. There are things. I lost my mic. I'm back, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
All right. We are humans in a vibrational field, right? So some weeks I get on to do my gallery readings and everyone's missing their mom. And the next week everybody's losing their job. And the next week, it's a theme. So right now our theme this week is obviously family energy, right? Here's what I will tell you your guides are saying. Really honor who you are in this whole process. You're not meant to be the peacemaker. Once in a while, we get the opportunity to do that in our life, but we're really looking at, again, what we were just speaking with to the person prior, conscious choices being made by adults, right? And so the best thing that you can do, your guides are saying right now, is regulate and stabilize your own energy. It doesn't mean that you're not sad that everyone's not getting along. I want to validate all of that, but think about it this way too, because I love this example and I use this often. I know, Heather, you've heard me talk about this. It would be like if we were at the beach and there were sharks out in the water and we were trying to swim out into the ocean to save everyone. That would really not be productive. It's more important for us to stand on the shore, to be the lighthouse, or to yell, hey, come this way, come this way. So whenever we get the opportunity to remove ourselves from the chaos and be the lighthouse, we need to take it. And that's the visual your guides are giving me for you in this.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, another question from our chat. I am in the awakening process and meditating and connecting with my guides and angels. Can you see where I am at in the process of connecting on a higher level?
Well, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Yes, I can. And what I will tell you is I don't know exactly what that means. Where am I at in the process? Because there's not ever a day where we get it, where it's like, you reached level 100. Congrats. You're done. So even me and I've been doing this for years, I am still always going higher in my knowledge, going higher in my expansion field, being able to reach more. Like this is not something where we ever reach the end and we get there. This is why, we do so many lifetimes that we are learning and growing in. So what I will say, do I feel the increase in energy? Yes, I do feel like you are increasing in energy and expanding, but this is there's never a day where it's like, okay, complete, check the box.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. I always feel like, once we're done learning and growing in this life, then that means we've passed on to the next, and then we're learning and growing in the next. Like we never have it all figured out.
Well, yeah, and even, I mean, we're always evolving. So we're not just evolving as humans, we're evolving on that soul level. You're right. There's never a day where we get there. What happens, we get to go to that heavenly realm and take a break or take a 200-year vacation or whatever it is that we want to do. But we're never going to get there. And this is what I want to say this. It's not to dishearten people. It's because our souls find joy in the journey, in the expression of learning, in the expansion that comes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take another question from our chat. Can you see if my body is healing from the gut, bones, and autoimmune issues I've had in the last 4 years?
Okay, let me just kind of feel into that energy over here for a minute. Yeah, what did she say about the gut, or what did they say?
It just said if her body is healing from the gut, bones, and autoimmune issues I've had in the last 4 years.
My answer is yes, but I'm going to tell you I'm going to use the word critical for you. That's what your guides are saying. Your diet is going to play a huge role in your ability to have a huge, I'm going to use the word remission. So I think that it will always be there to some extent, but I think that you're going to heal. Pay attention to what you're eating because that feels like a big culprit here.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. My husband passed away while in another country. I was not with him and will always feel more grief from not being there. So many spirits thank their loved ones for being with them. Is my husband upset that I was not there? Does he have any messages for me?
Yeah. So that is huge. First of all, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. A lot of people pass away when they do not have their loved ones around them. And there's a reason for this. On a soul level, he did not want you to be there. Now, I need you to open your heart and take this the right way. The last thing that your husband, what I'm hearing from him, wanted to do was have to say goodbye or anything like that to you because of his love and compassion for you. So what will happen, and we do this we see this all the time. We'll have somebody in hospice and there are 10 people there with them holding their hand. And then for some reason, somebody has to go make a call and someone goes to the restroom and someone goes to get a drink and they sneak out the door when no one is with them. So this is the energy with your husband. He, on a soul level, not his humanness, on a soul level, wanted to leave when he wasn't going to have to say goodbye to you. So I want to validate that for you. The other thing that I want to say is that no one transitions into that other realm alone. We have angels, we have life guides, we have loved ones in spirit. So even if someone is in the middle of the Sahara Desert, they do not transition into the next life alone. So please know that. His message for you is very clear. Quit beating yourself up. Okay. And he says it like I don't know if he would just like get real strict and stern at times, but that's what I feel like is like, quit beating yourself up. His love for you is eternal. That hasn't changed. You did nothing wrong. There was nothing. He's also saying this. He's saying he didn't want you there to see to be traumatized by his transition. That's the word that he gave me. So please be really open to knowing that on a soul level, you and him are still loving each other and everything is great. And he is giving you the gift of knowing that this was actually the way he chose for this exit to play out, not to cause you trauma, but to save you from trauma.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, we're going to do our last question from the chat today. And thanks for all the great questions that have come in. And we really love the live questions. That makes it really fun. I am wanting to start a YouTube channel to teach spirituality first aid. Do you see that starting by July? If not, when?
I'm going to push it back to August. So I believe that is going to happen, but there was stronger energy for August when the question was read. So it's almost like what your guides are showing me. It's kind of like a little house cleaning, like cross the T, dot the I, kind of like that type of energy. But I believe that will happen by August.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. I guess we have time for one more question.
Okay.
So this isn't a follow-up to the last question about the gut issues, and you talked about the diet. Could you be more specific about diet? I eat whole food, plant-based, no meat, dairy. Thank you.
Okay. Wait, no meat or no dairy?
Yes, they already eat a whole food, plant-based diet with no meat and no dairy.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say to you about that. I truly will tell you that I believe different bodies need different things. So I know some people that I think are so amazingly connected to spirit world and they're so healthy and they are so great and they're vegan. And I know other people that I feel the exact same way about and they're on keto, because each of our bodies is asking for something different, right? So I'm going to open a little bit of a door for you here. I want you to put it in your file of possibilities. But I actually feel like you do need some meat in your diet. Now, I need you to check in with yourself on this. I need you to know if you're okay with this, but there is something that's kind of missing. I'm glad that you're on whole foods and that they're clean and all of that. That's extremely important. But it's almost like the way I'm feeling it, I want to say healthy fats or something. Really, really tune in with you if meat feels right or not. But that is the way that I'm feeling, that there is some that needs to be added to your diet.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. And sometimes too, we make decisions that could be right at the time, like eliminating certain things from our diet. And then sometimes we have to reevaluate and maybe like reintroduce them because it could have been right then, but like our bodies are always changing as well. And so, like you said, kind of taking a look at things again and reevaluating.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the body real quick. And I'll just add this. The way that we are created as humans in a body, our bodies are also a vibrational frequency, right? And we have ranges. Let's use blood tests, for example. You can see the range for your liver. Here's low, here's high. So everything has like a range that we can see sometimes in black and white in a test, but also our body has a vibrational range. And so that's why I would say, please check in with your body, because I feel like that is part of what is missing. I want to it's almost like I see building blocks, and that's kind of what I'm not feeling that you need to be able to take the next step forward. Just make sure that it feels right for you, but I do feel like that's missing. And I'm just thinking very obviously organic meat also feels important if you decide to go that way.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. And also like I do a lot of like meal plans for people and different things like that. But with that, like protein is like the building block of what you need. And so finding that's what it like the meat or something that works for you to get some more protein in your diet. Um, yeah, look, I would feel into that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for those questions. I always have so much fun doing these Mondays with Michelle, with Heather, and being able to connect and answer questions. So I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Have a great week.